Good morning, everyone. Richard from 2Gen here. Today, I'm lucky enough to be talking with Jacqueline Jane, or JJ, who's the cybersecurity and awareness advocate for Knowbe4. And Knowbe4 are a leading, or world's largest cybersecurity and awareness platform. And she is the master of communication. She's really, really good at disseminating information, making technology or concepts really easy to understand. And she's previously led successful cybersecurity education programs that have really made an impact on behavioural change and improving the cybersecurity posture of businesses of all sizes. And the first sort of question I'd like to ask JJ is, what are the main challenges that businesses are focused or having issues with when it comes to education around cybersecurity training and cybersecurity awareness?
Yeah, good question, Richard. And hi, everyone. Happy to be here having a chat with you. I suppose the overarching challenge that organisations face is people don't necessarily understand the results of what could happen should a breach occur. And they also think that cybersecurity is IT's problem, not theirs. And what we do know, being so hyper-connected these days as we are, cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility. And an analogy that I do like to use is just like being safe on the roads is everyone's responsibility. There's infrastructure and different things in place to protect us as well, but we have a massive role to play for keeping everybody safe when we're out there on the roads. It's the same with cybersecurity. So that challenge can be overcome by some very clear communication as to why cybersecurity is such a huge threat these days, not only to individuals at home and in their families, but at work, and the potential of the disaster that can occur should a cyber criminal actually get access into a system. And you can't do an annual piece of training to say, right, everyone in a room, let's do, as they say, death by PowerPoint, and no one click on suspicious things and off you go. Because it's changing all the time, Richard, I don't know what you're hearing from your customers, but it's really difficult to know how to spot things these days when it comes to the cyber criminals.
Especially with the advent of AI and ChatGPT, we used to see emails that were really, really easy to spot. They'd always have a typo in there. There'd be a logo that was blurred and it was, oh yeah, that's a phishing email. But with AI, we're seeing a lot more sophistication. They're really well worded. The imaging and the logos and the links that they use are a lot more sophisticated as well. So that's where we're seeing a lot more emails coming through to us saying, look, is this legit? Is this phishing? Is this spam? Because before it was cake, you'd say, well, that's obvious, that's not real, but I've actually had to look at it and go, yeah, let's check the links, let's go through it that way. And yes, it's definitely spam. Thank you for sending it through.
Yeah, look, it's a challenge, and even someone like myself who is immersed in cybersecurity and do keep up with all the latest scams and things, it's near impossible to be able to spot these sophisticated levels that cyber criminals are using. And one thing we know at Knowbe4, and we've just hit over 60,000 customers globally now, which is a huge achievement from an organisation point of view. But part of the reason is the platform that we have enables people to implement something quite easily. That sends out some awesome training. The content library we have is ridiculously huge, and it's engaging, it's relevant, and it can be very specific to even job roles. Because the C-suite, for example, don't want to necessarily look at a 20-minute e-learning piece, but if you give them a 4-minute micro-learning, they'll be able to consume that and move on. In addition to the training,
most vulnerable as well, because they don't have much contact with IT. There are different age generations and different demographics, but they're often the ones that are left out of the equation because they don't really have much contact even with their business, but they've got all the power, sometimes at least educated around IT and IT security as well. So, yeah.
And on that point, that's a really good one, because to be able to engage your people at work from an IT point of view. So if you're trying to communicate why cybersecurity is everyone's responsibility, you need to be able to identify within each group or even in the individual why a cyber criminal wants them. They actually don't care about us as individuals. They care about what we have access to, what keys or access rights, who we are in an organisation. That's what they care about. And the way they do it is very, very, very clever these days. And people fall for stuff that some people would think, really? How did you not see that? It's because we're human, and the way our brain works, we're not focused enough. We've got so many things going on. We're not going to see those little issues that you can see after the effect. There's no two ways about that. So what we do with the Knowbe4 platform is we provide people an opportunity to apply their learning. So if we're teaching someone about red flags and emails, for example, send them out something to say, if this is a potential suspicious email, report it. We have something called a PAB, a fish alert button that's actually within your email system, that if an email comes through and you think, oh, hold on a minute, I'm not sure, you can report it. That goes back to the IT or cyber team, whatever you've got. And if it is part of a simulation to test your learning, you get instant, well done, you picked it. Now, let me tell you, there's been quite a few of late that have come through for me that were legitimate. They weren't scams, or sorry, they weren't simulations. They had the potential to be something really nasty. So just having that little, hold on, this looks suspicious, to report it is much better than clicking and thinking, oh, shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, so Knowbe4 has a simulation element to it as well. Can you tell me a little bit more about that as well, about what that looks like?
From the platform's perspective, we've got, I think it's thousands now of different email templates within the platform, so that you can decide, will everybody get this simulation, or will different people get different types of emails to test their knowledge. I think the most important thing here before I continue is this is not about entrapment. This is not about telling someone off. This is not about trying to say, haha, you clicked. On the flip side, it's actually about educating people and saying, if we send you out a simulated phishing email and you can spot it, it's increasing your chances of spotting a real one should it occur at home or even in the office on your mobile device or your laptop. So the process is very simple with the platform, and I encourage anyone who wants to know more, please contact Richard. He'll be able to take you through and give you some more details about the platform and how it can work for you. But simply being, you pick the people, because our platform's linked to Active Directory, and you say, let's send this particular simulated phishing template, which is real. It looks real, but it isn't. It looks real to everyone in finance, and let's see who clicks. Now, if you're sending someone something in finance that's not related to their job, they very well might think, hold on, this has got nothing to do with what I'm doing, and I know this isn't real. But if you think about it, cyber criminals are going to be quite direct. So there's an opportunity to test the learning, do the right thing, and report what might be suspicious. And that information goes back to the platform and gives the admin of our platform a really, really good idea of what's happening in relation to the risk profile of any individual team.
So a baseline of where they're at. And I know that we can also customize those phishing emails just to make it a bit more pointed as well.
Absolutely.
Yes, I think that the phishing is a good way of just initially seeing where people are at, what their risk profile is, if you can call it that.
First port of call for anyone, I would go to Richard, especially if you're in the Australia, New Zealand world. It's the challenge we face is some people in IT think, oh, it's just training and simulated phishing and that's it. There's so much more to the platform. It's remarkable what it can actually do. And the shift that we've seen through millions of our end users. So we did a recent report with 9.5 million of our end users, which showed that at the beginning, when they don't know anything about cyber or no one's told them you're about to be sent a simulated phishing email to benchmark to see where we are as an organisation, around 34% of people will click on that email because they don't know any different. And why wouldn't they if no one's been educated or communicated to, they're going to click. Then what we know is after 3 months of training, which is, again, not a lot of training, could be just 10 minutes a month, just to keep that information top of mind. When the same email sent out again to see, well, let's see who clicks this time, that drops to around 17%. Then after a year of that, monthly training, monthly testing, which is best practice, that'll come down to around 5%, which is in reducing your risk profile for your end users. We're never going to get to zero. This is not something that there's a silver bullet or a switch that can say, okay, now we're all good with humans. Just like with technology, there's no way something can 100%
Those damn
stop.
humans.
I know, seriously, we're a problem. And it's because we're so emotional. We respond with things. There's no two ways about it. So yeah, please, reach out and make contact if you'd like to know more.
Cool.
The best way to get some more information about the Knowbe4 platform is to contact Richard at 2Gen. His details are on the screen at the moment. He's had a lot of experience with our product and will be able to guide you for your next steps.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time, JJ.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Cheers.